Dojosec. And so one of the things I started doing like 3 months ago is I started what I call mentoring people. And I started getting a group together every Saturday morning in order to do some learning about information security. So I know a little bit about information security and forensics and stuff, so I like to share my knowledge with everyone, right? So, and anybody that'll pay $10 to sit at the internet cafe can actually listen to me talk about security. So I teach them, anything you want to know, like, a little bit of code, but mostly like, security tools, Wireshark, and all this stuff. So, and I do it for free because I'm very passionate about bringing people up through the ranks. I call myself the information security people's champ. Because nobody knows me, but I try to put in a lot of work on the underground. So I'm a grassroots guy. So if you ever heard of me before, maybe you'll hear about me soon. I'm trying to do some things. All right, so two of the guys over there, raise your hands, guys, please. Those guys are awesome. These are two of the guys that I've been actually, helping out, teaching what I know. And I was like, hey, since we're doing all this information security stuff, maybe we should write our own tool to do like incident response. And that's how it started. So those two guys, I'm going to give them a round of applause because they're awesome. If you need anybody, if you're looking for people that know how to code, network, and Linux and Windows, setting all kind of stuff up, those two guys are absolutely awesome and they're free agents. They're available. That's what I told you. I'll take care of y'all. You know what I'm saying? All right. So hey, thanks everybody for coming for sure. And hopefully we're gonna have some fun. Hopefully you'll learn a little bit. I know it's been like awesome technical content here. I've heard. And hopefully I can add to that. So, Metasponse. All right. The true story about Metasponse is I was trying to ride HD wings and be a multi-millionaire like him, but now I'm just playing. But Metasponse, I had to come up with some kind of name. We wanted to do incident response, but I'm I really like Metasploit. I use it a lot, and I think like everybody has been through some kind of class where they teach you something about Metasploit. So I wanted to try to build on that already entrenched, Metasploit knowledge. So I wanted to do. And this kind of started off as building just an auxiliary module for Metasploit. 3 months ago, we didn't know anything about Ruby. We've all coded, in different languages before. So we would say, hey, let's run Ruby. Let's do something Metasploit that actually does something good besides just break things and hack things. So background on me. All right, I am former United States Navy. I was a CT, cryptologic technician in the Navy. And any CTs or anything in here? So. That's what I'm talking about. You guys are smart. All right. So anyway, I was in the military. I did 8.5 years. My last duty station was at an awesome place, the National Security Agency. Now, I know it's a couple of NSA people in here. I'm not going to point y'all out. I love you guys. But I can actually talk about it because I'm not affiliated with the agency. So I was at NSA. Some very, very smart people at NSA. And I learned from really smart people, but there's also some dumb people there too. Just to put that out there. There are some smart people, but it's like the 5% rule. 5% of people know what they're doing, 15% think they know what they're doing, and 80% have no clue. So, after that, I worked for CSC for some time, and my last place at CSC was at the Defense Cybercrime Center. Man, these lights are bright, aren't they?
Yeah.
Did they do anything to dampen the lights anytime out there?
Yeah.
That dude's awesome right there. He's one of my Dojosec guys too. So, the top talent, 5% hangs out Dojosec. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so here we go. So I worked at DC3 for a while. At DC3, when I first went in there, actually at my last place I worked at in the agency, at NSA, I was actually doing some incident response and stuff, or more like network stuff. I actually wrote all kind of scripts back in the day. Before there was any Sims, I used to write a lot of Perl. So I used to write Perl to do anything. I can make Perl backspin and do breakdancing. So that's what I did when I was at NSA. So I went here, and at my last 2 years, I worked for Computer Sciences Corporation. And I worked with some really cool people like Johnny Long and like everybody that talked here today. I seem like everybody that did a talk I worked with before. So I worked with a lot of smart people, and one guy is like Eric Booth back there. That's my man. Eric. He was awesome right there. He taught me a lot. So I actually tried to be like him for a while. I was his clone. So, thanks for coming, Eric. Excellent. All right, compartmentalization. I worked with a couple of government agencies, and I think that it's pretty apparent after 9/11 that there's too much compartmentalization. I know some things can't be shared with everyone. Like my boy Walter Barr, he said they should do away with security clearances when it comes to incident responses. I'm going to bite this off Wally because it was awesome. He said that he was actually doing an intrusion investigation, and they pulled him off the case because he didn't have a clearance. And he said, well, the guy in Switzerland is hacking this doesn't have a clearance. I was like, that's awesome. It's true, right? So they can look at all our secrets, but our American citizens can't. Awesome. So anyway, this box right here, compartmentalization. Anybody ever heard of women are from Venus, men are from Mars?
Yep.
They said, so this actually right here, this is a model of a man's brain. A man can only think in boxes. You ever heard that before? That's what that book says. The book says that we can only think about one thing at a time. So we can either do football or basketball. But they say whatever we do is related in some shape because everything we do is related to a box. Like the TV shaped like a box.
Everything's related to a box. Everything's related to a box. Nice. Family friendly. Okay, good.
This is going on security too.
Well, that just happened. All right, so anyway, women's brains are like spaghetti. They can multitask and all that stuff. That's what the book says. All right, but our agencies tend to focus on what they're doing, kind of like this box. They focus on this little box. They don't share information. They don't get outside the box. Where they should be more like a woman's brain, because a woman's brain is like spaghetti all over the place, and they can relate multiple things together. That's how our government should be. I know I talk real fast, but if you listen real fast, you can hear everything I'm saying.
So what you're saying is we need more women?
Absolutely right. We do need more women in the industry. I actually did a video blog about that. I can plug everything I do in just a little bit. All right, that brings me to this slide right here. This is actually a slide of like the universe or some kind of cosmos. I don't know. I'm not an astronomer or nothing, but I know it's a whole lot of stuff on there. Right? But actually, no. That's good. That's a woman. That's how smart women are.
Yeah.
So, hey, make sure you hear that, baby. That's for you. So, all right. So you have this huge galaxy, right? But you know, we have all these big, powerful. You know, the government has all these big microscopes or telescopes, should I say? And they can only look at so much. So what even astronomy and all these people have, they've actually started looking for amateurs to do a lot of work for them. So the actual amateur astronomers are actually doing some of the most major findings that are happening right now. Sometimes the government sees these new stars or whatever forming, and then it's like, well, the amateurs found that like a week ago or so. And so there's actually a lot of stars and all this stuff, new galaxies and stuff that are being discovered by amateurs. So, and that's why myself, I know, and that's what one of the things I want to do is I want to bring new people into the game because even though they may be amateurs to you, they can do major discoveries. And I'm going to get to that later. So, anyway, that's what kind of like what open source is, right? I was just actually talking to, was it Helix 3 out there? I was talking to that vendor, and you know Helix started as an open source project, and actually a lot of stuff in Helix still is open source. And I was asking the dude, and he's like, hey, no, we actually wrote everything from the ground floor. I said, well, it still uses Ubuntu? He's like, yeah. I said, okay. What about DD? How are you imaging stuff? Yeah, we use that. So, dude, everything I named was actually open source. So it's like, dude, how can you be closed source? I'm kind of like an open source advocate too. But anyway.